Hello, this is Daryl Turok from What's Next for Humanity. I'm making this broadcast today. It's January of 2026. And in my lifetime, I've been in tons of different churches, belonged to many different organizations, all focused on how to make the world a better place. And I'm at a point today where I'm looking at what's going on in the world and feeling I don't know if challenged is the right word, but curious about all of it. I know that when things change rapidly, it's a time when new things are coming into view. Um, and the old sayings about it's always darkest before the dawn. And, um, uh, if you stretch a rubber band, it won't snap until it reaches the highest point of pressure. So if we look at the situation we're in the world from a 30,000 foot point of view or from an historical point of view, then it gives a little more perspective and gives an opportunity to hold things a lot differently than just gut reacting. So I just wanted to talk about this for a few minutes this morning. So right now in the world, there's a lot of tension going on, and it's important for us to see our this moment in the context of history. And if you look back in history, like in the United States, there are different time periods when different things were happening, like the time around 9/11, the time around World War II, the time during the Civil War. All those times were times where there was intense emotion and intense feelings flaring up all over the place. And that's what's happening right now. So I think that what is important to get is that there is an opportunity to have a perspective about it. So what's happened is because of technology, we've been able to have much better and more accurate communication all over the planet. People can know instantly what's going on. I remember back during the Vietnam War is when was the first time when we started seeing actual footage of battles on the television, and that just changed everything. And that's developed over time to where today we can do it instantaneously. Everybody's got their own little broadcasting machine in their hand. And so when information comes at us so fast, it's hard to really have an opportunity to digest it and understand it and respond to it in a way that makes a difference. So it helps me if I just look at things from a point of view in history. So a little bit of curiosity about what's going on and what's actually happening. So the common way that I react, and I see other people reacting to different things, is first there's gut reactions. Someone says something, you make it mean something, and then you jump right into a conclusion about what's going on. And whether it's economical, social, political, or personal, it's pressure, and it's a signal that old structures are being tested and things are changing. And we have a tendency to polarize. I mean, this is really clear nowadays, especially in politics. As these challenges come into view, people advance towards their extreme, towards their point of view, and they become quite firm in their opinion about it. And so we become defensive. So we want to protect what we believe is true and good. It's instinctive and it's not malicious, but it's where we go. So maybe there's another higher perspective that we could have about how to do all of that. When everything feels urgent, then reaction becomes automatic. The real risk isn't disagreement or change. It's losing the ability to pause, reflect, and choose how we respond. Without perspective, we don't move forward. We just move faster in the same direction. There's something called diplomacy, which is the ability to have your opinion and to communicate it powerfully, and to do it in a way that doesn't necessarily agree with what someone else says, but to to hold yourself in a place of honor and respect, and taking personal responsibility. Inside of that, it takes down the defensiveness from other people that you disagree with, and actually opens up some dialogue for conversation. So I think one of the main things that I see is that we really tend to rush to conclusions. You just watch something on the news, or someone says something, and automatically you know exactly what they meant and what they were trying to do, and you're certain about it without asking any questions about it. And it's all about your own identity over understanding, and it's movement without direction. There's a story about a man that got on the subway train in New York City with 3 young children, and his children were running up and down the car, and irritating the other passengers. And everybody looked at him and they said, "Well, wow, this guy's just totally irresponsible. He's not looking out for his kids or taking care of his kids." And that is the conclusion that they rushed to. So finally, somebody went up and talked to him and said, "Hey, why don't you watch your kids here?" And he ended up saying, "Oh," he came like out of a stupor, and he said, "Oh, I didn't even notice it. You see, we just came from the hospital where my wife died and their mother died, and I'm just beside myself. I'm not sure what I'm going to do." So did it make it right that his kids were terrorizing the other passengers on the train? No. But did it make it understandable? Yes. So you can respond to the situation much more effectively if you understand what's going on. So integration is what happens when we stop collapsing complexity into sides. It's almost like a lot of people got to find something wrong with something someone says. You want to start off being accusatory of someone else who has a different opinion than you. But so there's another possibility of having an ability to hold pressure and disagreement and uncertainty without surrendering your perspective or personal responsibility for what you believe true. Integration doesn't eliminate tension. It allows us to move through it without losing who we are. And then when you can stand in that place and where there's less resistance, then you might actually be able to communicate what it is that you want to communicate. And you can remain yourself, and you can be true to yourself. And ultimately, I think that's the most important thing. I find that hard if I just agree with one political party or one religious entity or whatever, because you automatically, if you dissolve into the group, you automatically assume that anyone that's not in your group or doesn't have the same perspective as you is wrong. When maybe there's something else that's possible. Maybe you can hold your own personal opinions, your political views, your religious views, or whatever views you have about anything, and stand there. But at the same time, you can have a sense of respect and honor and curiosity about what others see. And if we can stand in that place, then we can have the opportunity to actually find solutions to problems. So it's your responsibility and your power to know yourself. It's not isolation, but it's the courage to remain yourself while walking alongside others. And this is a skill that seems to be lacking quite a bit these days, especially in politics. But it's what's possible for us as human beings and how we interact with each other. So I would encourage you to align with groups, whether it's your political party or religion, that honors your wholeness, and question those that require your silence, because you are the owner of yourself always. I found this for myself belonging to many groups, and I found that often they wanted me to just merge into it and just agree with everything they said because they said it and they knew, and who was I? But I don't think that that's the end result. Some people are skilled at what they do, and it's important to pay attention to people who are skilled at what they do. But ultimately, you are responsible for yourself. So in the perspective of what's next for humanity, it's all about us owning ourselves and being in touch with who we are, and then communicating that in a powerful way that has diplomacy, respect, and clarity of communication. So I've been in many churches and worked in many different projects, all around making the world a better place for people. And right now, the world is being totally changing rapidly. So on the one side, there's science, and it's all of the technology that exists there. And we have access to all this communication and all of this transportation like never before in history. We have access to all the information in the world. And now with the AI, it's like even more. And how at the same time can we take the foundation of who we are as spiritual beings and put that into all of this technology? And that's the war we're having now. It's between science and religion, or our the physical reality and our internal world. So it's actually a time of great hope. And I personally believe that we are at a time when we're going to wake up into it, and we're going to understand what works best, both for our external world and our internal world, and that's where we're going for the future. So I think that there are many people who are in that space where they're tired of all this polarization and tired of all this bickering, who just want to find solutions without becoming nameless or faceless or unopinionated altogether. So that's why I created What's Next for Humanity, to have conversations about that. How can we implement that into the world? So I would suggest that you align with groups that honor your wholeness and question those that require your silence. You are the owner of yourself always. So you can go to What's Next for Humanity for more articles about this and videos on YouTube. And I also have AIWebforce.com. And I worked for many years as a web developer. I started doing that in 2008. And I've been helping small companies succeed online, and most recently have been coaching people and supporting companies and using the new technology of AI to enhance their ability to communicate. You can go to AIWebforce.com, and if you would like any coaching or support in that whole arena. That's it for today. So I want to wish you a Happy New Year and wish the best for you in this coming year. And I wanted to do something to try and make a difference in the world. And I believe that we are, in our core, desirous of connecting to what's true and good, and that's going to eventually come out. In the meantime, we'll have a little bit of turmoil, but that's part of the process. It's kind of like birth. Birth's a messy thing, right? But then after the pain, after the seeming trauma, a new life comes into view. So maybe in the scope of history, that's what's happening right now. So make it a great day.